All right, just want to remind everyone that we are recording this meeting and will be posted online.
You take general.
Call this meeting to order. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for being here. If you haven't signed in, please be sure to do that. And we are going to start with the consent agenda. Do we approve it first or go through it first?
Go through it first.
Okay. First item is the agenda. Anybody have any questions about the agenda? No? Do we take a motion for that?
Just take one at the end.
Oh, okay. Regular meeting minutes. Everyone have a chance to see those, review those, access questions. Next, negotiation committee meeting minutes. Okay. Joint board meeting minutes with Mary and Kyla boards.
How'd that go? I mean, was it kind of like the first one, or?
It was
It was the second one, wasn't it the second one or the third one? I think
second.
It was the second one.
Second. Yeah, it was good. Maybe provide a little clarity and direction on all the discussion, just as far as, I don't know.
So, yeah, it was just about
Resource
getting together
sharing.
and talking about sharing resources and maybe what does the future look like in 5 or 10 years down the road. And so no decisions or anything, we're just talking about what types of things if we were to share resources, what would that look like? You know, down the road if we were to consider like having one joint school and well in other schools, what would that look like? Just basically talking things through and talking about ideas.
Was there any more feedback from the other two schools from their community?
No, in fact, we were the majority in attendance. Our district was, which was pretty awesome, I thought. But Cal Ketchum was there as the county superintendent, and he gave us some information for the things to think about. And so what we're going to do is get some financial information before we talk about anything moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's really early. Like it's pretty early.
Right.
You know, we're just talking about things.
Okay. Was there quite a bit of people from the other two schools too? It was the same amount?
It was about the same amount.
They were the majority from
Yeah, they didn't have any guests. They just had like a board person and a clerk. or something.
Oh, really? Okay. Principal wasn't there?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
One school just had a principal.
I heard the principal from Mary wants to be done right now.
Is that what she wants to do? She wants to make it happen?
Yeah, and that doesn't happen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not realistic.
Unless she has a rich uncle, right?
Well, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that we don't get to just all involve
Right.
together.
Well, I think that was kind of the takeaway from the meeting was more discussion of what's the media, some resource sharing that schools might benefit from it. And then, like Mrs. Matt said, you know, down the road, as we grow, as communities grow, which is inevitable what happens, what does that look like? And so there's a lot more information to include at this point, and that's kind of what we discussed.
Did you guys set another one?
Down that. What's that?
Have you set another meeting, or is it just going to kind of?
Yes.
In October.
October.
I came in my back.
21st, maybe?
Yeah, it's after MEA days.
Hang on, it's written down. I think she's right.
You're so efficient. We love
It's
that.
October 21st. Thank you.
All right, no questions, other questions about that? We can go to hiring committee meeting minutes.
Oh, I just wanted to make a comment real quick that I will be sharing that information with staff and all of that.
Which one?
What we just were talking about with the joint board meeting.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, current claims summary. All good. Thank you.
A few things I had questions about. Just one thing that I know, and I talked to Jake, every one of them here is on makes it pretty obvious that they're running.
And they said today and yesterday they were doing an inspection, so they had everything turned up for board that's today.
Yeah, no, it wasn't because I went and checked, but our electricity bill runs within basically $50 year round. That tells me that everything is basically what does it?
You have to sign off on payroll one, Bob.
In a second.
Just so you
Well, I'll
know.
get it on the back.
It's fine.
Thanks, Bob. How about payroll for July 2024 register? Nothing. Okay. 24, 25 student attendance agreements.
I ask this every time, and I'm sorry, I can't remember. Are these new, or is this a collective total of all student agreements?
So these are new since the last board meeting. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's new agreements.
Right.
Like it could be repeat ones from last year. So, I'll have to open it really quick to see which ones it shows on there, if they're outgoing or incoming. I think we only had one incoming on this one, if I recall off the top of my head.
More outgoing.
I think there was one incoming, a sixth grader.
Two.
Which, no, there's only one on this agenda.
So it's from what got published before Thursday, or on Thursday.
Yeah, it's
You took, it's the same one that's on the agenda?
So I guess ultimately, my question, can we get the total, maybe at the next board meeting after school has started, and see what the breakdown is?
What?
Sorry.
Student agreements, who's
We
coming,
have a
who's going?
spreadsheet of everybody that goes out and comes in, so we can share like numbers with the board, total numbers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
we
from
can
a
do that.
budget perspective, obviously, we've talked about declining A and B, and just trying to see what the actual environment looks like.
Yeah,
Because it appears we're purging students.
Yeah, so, forgive me, just so I understand as well, this is, you're wondering if this is an accumulation or if this is total for the year? Is that?
Yeah, and then,
So this is since the last time?
Since the last meeting. So last meeting, we had whatever, 2 and 6, or 1
Gotcha,
and
okay.
5, and I'm just curious where we would be at if we actually had students that stuck around, because again, it appears like students are choosing to not attend Smith Valley. as
But we've
opposed to-
gotten quite a few new ones, just recently, like the last couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah.
9 or 10.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if maybe after school
But unless
starts.
it's out of district, it doesn't really reflect. It's like, because if kids are in district, it's not what.
No, I think that's what Jason's saying, is that it seems like, as far as, cross-district, we're losing more than we're gaining.
yeah, we can, Trish and I have a spreadsheet of that, so we can easily bring that and show you guys the numbers next board meeting.
Thank you.
Which next board meeting will be the most accurate, because it'll be after school's going, so
Yep.
we'll give you a running total.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. They come in weird on these agendas because we put them in front of the board as soon as we get them, essentially. So you're gonna see these numbers fluxing as we go, because it's whenever we get them is when they hit the agenda. And it'll be even more interesting going forward, because if we get one mid-year, that student actually can't start attending school until it's board approved. That's for that new House Bill 203. So if Trish gets a new out-of-district student enrollment form,
Starting tomorrow.
like tomorrow, that student can't start school until after the next board meeting. So you will see these, and we may have special board meetings depending on how long until the next board meeting. But obviously, we don't want to have a special board meeting once a week, so that's not going to happen. But if it's something like close to the start of school, we may consider trying to put something in place to get students in school sooner rather than later. But yeah, this is kind of a new thing that you'll see.
Which is kind of fun, because we have to approve them, but we can't not approve them.
Unless it goes outside the policy.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
But it's not, I mean, it's because it's state law now.
Right.
So we have to watch.
But we have adopted like exceptions in our policy
Right.
3141, so, but yeah.
The good thing about the timeline, though, is because of the new House bill, there could be so much flux, like a kid starts school somewhere, they're there for 10 days, they don't like the teacher, they're going somewhere else, out of district. So this hopefully will put a damper on that transfer process, where they just want to go somewhere else because they have to wait to be approved by their board. So hopefully that will slow down that.
All right, I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Consent agenda approved. We are on to public comment. This is the time for comment on public matters that are not on the main agenda. Members of the audience are encouraged to briefly address the trustees on an issue that is not on the agenda. The chairman of the board will seek comments from the audience on significant items as they occur. Public matters do not include any pending legal matters, private personnel issues, or private student issues. Please do not attempt to address such issues at this time or you will be ruled out of order. To ensure everyone has an opportunity to speak, each speaker will be given a 2-minute time limit. Is there any public comment? All right. Okay, we are on, no. That's okay. We're on to informational items and reports. Administrator report.
All right, so first of all, welcome. Thank you for coming to our meeting this evening. I'd like us to start with the summer school report from Ms. Hanson, please.
All right, so I made this little flyer and since I did not put one of our really pictures on there, but that happens. Yes. Audience. I don't know. Sorry, guys. You guys are okay, so we were able to get the grant, and it came in very last minute. So we had 4 days to kind of rally and get things together. So I called basically every family in Smith County. And we allotted for 30 kids, and we will get 29 with a 75% attendance rate, which is actually really good considering the fact that people really didn't have that much notice. So we were able to study national parks, and there's some pictures there. Mrs. Long did some artwork with the kids. It's called paint dropping. Paint for okay. So, and then Mrs. Lofgren did cooking with the kids, and then I was able to go to Fish Wildlife Parks and get like 4 totes of hides from them and bring them in, and then they had lessons that are accompanying them, and there were skulls in there, and just all kinds of things. And then one of the kids had done this through hunter safety, and so I let him teach little kids while I was there with him, and so he was really passionate about it, and that's kind of what he wants to go into as he gets older, and so that was a really good opportunity for him. And then we were able to put a lot of planters out there, so he didn't look so sad. And some of our kids came and didn't make like super high gains, but some of our lower kids were able to make quite a bit of gains. Like there was a math standard, and one of our kiddos didn't know any of the problems, and then was able to understand it 100% after they left. And so, and then with reading, there was an assessment done, and the student was scored 53% actually to start, and then 80% actually at the end. And then at the end, we got enrichment kits and sent them home with kids, and those included books, art projects, measuring cups, good. I think it was successful for not having very many days to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. So the kids did make academic games though.
Awesome.
And then this is just like an example of like they were able to make plaster
That's cool.
orders of the footprints and then yeah, so we made,
Some of us took off.
yeah, we made shirts for, these are the staff shirts.
Awesome.
There you go. And then these are the student shirts. So, yeah. Yeah, so some stuff out of it. We try to make shirts every year and such. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. for
They had a parent gathering too, so it was really nice. They got to come and have food with the kids, and yeah, Ms. Hanson did a great job organizing it, and everybody contributed and pulled their weight, and it was really great. You guys all did great for such short notice. It was amazing. So really great job.
Thank you.
All right, so going on along that line, you just saw some fancy t-shirts. So I would like to thank Jenny Spillane because she came in and she volunteered her time. She was here multiple hours and she did the cricket work on that. And so I learned, what was the phrase I learned where you pull out the pieces? Weeding. Weeding. So I learned that term this summer. I'm like, oh, it is like weeding. So you have the shape and then you pull out the pieces. Like it's like negative, seeing the negative art. So I learned something very cool. So anyway, so I'd like to thank Jenny because she volunteered her time. Another volunteer that we had this summer recently is John Matt, my husband, and he came and he built supports for the kinder cubbies so that the ones in the hallway could be moved and used outside of the classroom. So those are really secure, they're not going anywhere. Josiah Hassey will be coming this Sunday with West Hills Chapel. They will be doing some painting. They're going to paint this second shed out here. They're going to wash windows, they're going to pull weeds, they're going to wash all the classroom doors on the inside. So they like to do a volunteer project, so they are coming this Sunday to do that. So they did it last year for us and they are thankful that they get to do it. They love using our facility and they want to help. So I would like to thank them publicly for that service. So I have a few things to talk about. So August 28th, we have our community breakfast. So that will be from 8:30 to 9:30. There is no agenda. It is just a chance for people to just come and be in our school and relax and have a good time. So the 28th at 8:30 to 9:30. And then following that, we're going to do what to expect. So I had some parents last year saying, we'd really like to know what should we expect when our kid enters kindergarten or when they're in third grade or how are things different. So we're going to have just like a short 15 to 20 minutes so they can just come and chat with the teachers. Teachers will be in groups. They can ask some questions. Teachers can tell them about some of the struggles that kids have like with adolescence or with body odor or whatever the things are that are going to be happening to their kid as they enter 5th grade or whatever grade they're going to be in. And just things about social media for 7th and 8th grade, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, what are the things, what are the challenges? So it'll just be nice to have that. And I had a parent last year say to me, it would just be really great to have that kind of stuff. So we're just going to do it, make it short and sweet, just a thank you type thing for knowing about your child. I will get a schedule posted, so it's already been on the newsletter, but it will be more specific on that particular day. So last year we participated in the math piloting, the pilot assessment process. So we were one of the pilot schools. So we received this banner to thank us for being a pioneer school, and all of the teachers that participated in this will receive a certificate. This year, this particular assessment is required of all the schools in the state of Montana. They used to be the SAT, and now it is NAST. So last year we were second-year pilots. We did not go with the first year because it was going to be really messy, and it was. But we went with it last year. It was still messy, but not as messy. So we received that banner, that recognition. So that's great for our school. And then we received $2,392 as a part of of the PAX Exemplar Project. PAX means peace, and it's a part of our MTSS program, which is multi-tiered systems of support. So we are in year 2 of our grant, and our PAX leaders this year are going to be Joanna Getting and Josh Eastman. So they will lead our PAX team, our PAX school, and we started it last year. So things like playing the harmonica to get kids' attention instead of raising your voice or clapping your hands, which is making a lot more noise. Things like playing silly little games like lay on the floor and wiggle as much as you can for 15 seconds if they do something really well. So just positive rewards for little things. Roll your eyes at somebody, you know, things that they're not supposed to do, but they get to do. So just things that are just fun. They don't cost anything, but they're super fun. So that's how the PAX program works. So we're all involved in that. So Ms. Getting and Mr. Eastman will be leading K through 3 and 4 through 8 teams and helping them and just observing, and it'll be fun. I'm excited about it. So anyway, $2,392 for our PAX leaders to be able to do that. So facility-wise, library and music room flooring is complete, so that nasty carpeting is gone. The volleyball sleeves are installed in the floor right here. And we had a little bit of a problem with dust, but our maintenance team cleaned it up, and the air in this gym is asbestos-free, so yay, that's all good. I attended the SAM conference in Helena, which is School Administrators of Montana. I attended that in July, and had I not gone, it was a 3-day conference. Had I not gone, I would have really been struggling to catch up with accreditation requirements for this upcoming year, because they presented, they're like, this. These are the things you have to do this year, and all of the specifics are coming out in September. And so, that being said, those things include, we have to finish our graduate profile, which we did so much of that last year, so we just have to finalize that and make it a polished document. We have to be able to document educational effectiveness, and they're going to tell us what they want. They'll basically give us a rubric. We have to document academic programming, proficiency-based learning, what our school climate looks like, and there's going to be a big focus on Indian education for all as far as documenting everything that the teachers do. And gifted and talented, getting that program in the works. So I will be looking for an IEFA coordinator and a gifted and talented coordinator to run those programs. So I will talk about that with staff when school starts. But a lot of things are going on, and had I not gone, I wouldn't have had the specifics on different things about different laws that are coming into play that, you know, ultimately I'm responsible to make sure that we follow the law. So it was a great conference, and glad I went, because otherwise I'd be like really, really struggling right now. So I'm still in need of a PJ Club assistant, so I will talk to staff about that at PIRD, so that you can get that one on a rotational basis, so they don't have to do it every day. And in the handbook, there's something called tiered behaviors and consequences, and we'll talk about that when we get to the handbook. But that is what I have for right now. So I know I just spoke a lot. How many words would that take if I had to write them all down? That'd be amazing. I'm glad I get to talk. I don't think it's just that.
Thank you very much.
That's all I have. Questions, anybody? Okay, great, thank you.
All right, we are on to the clerk's report.
Okay, August is the 1 month where you'll see that I don't put the budget reports on my clerk's report. The reason for that is you guys haven't approved the budget yet. So there's no reason for me to report on something that y'all haven't approved yet. So that's why you don't see the revenue and expenditure budget reports on here yet. Once the board approves the budget tonight, then you'll see those showing up again in September, because I'll take those budget numbers and enter them into the software, which is what produces the reports. Right now, the reports would be pretty useless because I haven't entered anything into the software yet. Okay. Beyond that, these are the same balancing reports that you see every month. You probably noticed if you open them that the cash balancing report has even more fun and fancy notes this month than I think I've ever had before. So this has been really fun month after month lately. So the $454,000 that says sent to multi-district interlocal fund, that was on there last month as well. The reason why it showed up again is because I failed to send the number to the county on the transfer letter so that they'll move the money between those two funds through the claims clearing account. That's why you're seeing it again this month. So now I have a giant note on my desk highlighted to tell myself to add that onto the transfer letter this month so you don't see it in September for the third month in a row, because that was really fun to do when I found it in my balancing and was like, wow, cool, that was good. The other ones were actually errors done at the county. One of them, if you notice, it's in a food service fund. We don't have a food service fund. They deposited it there in error. It goes into our Fund 15, and it was their error, so they're gonna move it. So interestingly enough, I caught that error last month, and they made a JV to move it. Their JV was done in error, journal voucher was done in error, so they moved it incorrectly a second time. So see, I'm not the only one that does it back-to-back months, so that made this report real fun, because then it had that error as well. And then we had a paycheck that cleared the bank for the wrong amount, 6 cents difference. Caught that when I was balancing months, so now they had to do a journal voucher on the county end to balance that back out, so that should, so in September, I'm really hoping that this report just balances all the way down. That'd be great. Does anyone have any questions about it that I didn't already answer? I don't think there's anything else, but do you guys have any questions on any of the other reports that were attached?
No.
Okay, the credit card clearing report, I haven't written that check through yet because I wait through the summer months until all those fees clear like we've talked about before, so I'll write that check in September for whatever PJ Club payments that we've received in the summer months.
That's it.
Thank you, Lacey. All right, we are on to our action agenda. Following items are for consideration and possible action. First is Certified Bargaining Agreement 2024-2026. I will take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the certified bargaining agreement 2024 through 2026. Second.
All right, any further discussion?
Everything changed from green, yellow, red.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I highlighted everything other than the salary schedule piece. I didn't highlight that change. The change on the salary schedule was oh gosh, did I put it in writing? Hold on.
Is that it?
We added essentially, steps 16 and 17 in lanes, I just don't want to misspeak, so I'm going to look at it. BA 60, BA 75, and masters. In those 3 lanes, steps 16 and 17 were essentially added. They used to be the same as step 15. So step 15 used to be the same as step 16 and 17 in those 3 lanes. And what was negotiated is that those 3 lanes now have actual steps in them through year 17. Does that make sense? Sorry, I didn't highlight that part on there. I should have probably done that so you guys could see that that was the salary piece that changed.
That's why we have these discussion times. I appreciate that. Okay.
And so how much did we figure that was gonna add to this year?
You guys remember off the top of your head?
It's a blur.
Yeah.
Come on, Brenda.
I don't have my notes with me.
I left them too.
I don't even know. I feel like 35 or
I think it was somewhere around there, yeah.
something like that rings a bell. Let me go see it quickly.
But you're talking
Let's
about
try to get
that,
35,363.
that number includes the majority of the teachers who were already eligible for their steps and lanes.
That's correct.
I don't remember what that breakdown was, but
20.
It was right at 20, yeah.
So it was an increase of about 15 from just the steps of the teachers that were eligible to step.
Okay.
Yeah, my only thing on the 2-year contract is I really would like to see us
Next is certified staff contracts.
I'll make a motion to approve the certified staff contracts.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we've got personnel. Any offer of employment is contingent upon receipt of satisfactory criminal history background check and satisfactory drug and alcohol screening results, and for some positions, receipt of satisfactory pre-employment screening. Can we go through one by one, or
Yep.
all the recommendations one by one? Okay, first, hire C. Digley as 5'6" volleyball coach. Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to hire C. Digley as 5'6" volleyball coach.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
The only question I have is, was she the only teacher that was interested? Okay.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, hire C. Digley as 7'8" volleyball coach.
I'll make a motion to hire C. Digley as 7'8" volleyball coach.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. C. Digley FY 25 5'6" volleyball coaching contract.
Make a motion to approve C. Digley fiscal year 25 5-6 volleyball coaching contract.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Both of these contracts that are on here are just one step from her last year contracts based on the CBA, so.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. C. Digley FY 25 7'8" volleyball contract, coaching contract.
I'll make a motion to approve C. Digley fiscal year 25 7-8 volleyball coaching contract.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Hire Jay Getting as the after-school Puddle Jumpers Club Director.
I'll make a motion to hire Jay Getting as the after-school Puddle Jumpers Club Director.
I'll second that. I'll ask why. Why? What are you thinking?
We're not putting that in a minute.
I saw that and I was like, what? You like little kids. No, that's awesome. That's cool.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Hire Jay Getting FY 25 after-school Puddle Jumpers Club Director contract.
I'll make a motion to hire Jay Getting fiscal year 25 after-school Puddle Jumpers Club Director contract.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're great.
Hire S, how do you say your last name?
Stacked.
Specht. Hire S. Specht as .75 FTE counselor. Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to hire S. Specht as .75 FTE counselor.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Is this the only applicant?
Yeah.
She was the only applicant.
How'd it go?
So great. So I can't talk about her personally, but she did everything went great. She is finishing her master's degree in school counseling. She has a degree in psychology. doing her student teaching and all of her internships and everything will be under the supervision of MSUPE. So it'll be great. And then I'll be working with her too, so it'll be fun. She's excited.
Cool.
All right, first and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 24-25 S-Spec .75 FTE contract.
I'll make a motion for the 24-25 S.75 FTE contract.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Hire 24-25 substitutes.
I will make a motion to hire the 24-25 substitutes.
Take a second. Any further discussion?
For the list, seems larger than past years.
The paraprofessionals that are no longer paraprofessionals, most of them are signed up to SUP, which is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Super grateful.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We have amended ISAP, Integrated Strategic Action Plan.
I will make a motion to approve the amended ISAP Integrated Strategic Action Plan.
Second.
Any discussion, further discussion on this?
Yes, so I'd like to tell you that the accreditation process, they've already approved all the schools, but they're giving schools a chance to amend their plans if there wasn't enough specific information. So what I've done in each of our goals is made them more goal specific, more measurable when you look at them. So, I had to get this approved by you guys before I could submit the amendment to OCI. So thank you. I did add in goal 1, at the bottom, I did add about the open enrollment and the students with the registration cap. I added and will consider the acceptance of siblings of already enrolled students on a case-by-case basis. So I added that because that's how they required this. Their first goal was great. And you can see when you look at goal number 2, so how are we doing this? By tracking behaviors, reducing the number of Roberts referrals as much as by 10% according to the 24-25 MTSS data. So this is going to be a baseline year, and then moving forward we can show how that changes. And a part of that, the reason we can do that now is because we have those tiered behaviors and consequences, so we can actually measure and show measurable data. So that is one of the ways that we can do that. And then goal 3, again, resulting in an overall decrease in staff absences by 10% using the data from last year. Goal 4, an increase by 10% for family community engagement of activities based on the 23-24 certified needs assessment data. And goal 5 was nothing needed. So actually, they didn't do anything for goal 1 or goal 5. But I just wanted to just clean it up a little bit because next year is when our entire accreditation process is due. And I don't want to have to go back in 3 years and fix something that should have just been resolved now. It's just easier to take care of it when it comes up. So I just did it. We've got Michelle on it, so she helped me walk through it and we talked about specific terms and best wording.
That's great, thank you.
You're welcome.
I like having 1, a plan, and 2, a way to measure it. So thanks for all your due diligence in that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. FY24 Trustees Financial Summary.
I will make a motion to approve the fiscal year 24 trustees financial summary.
basically the accounting summary for the year. If you open it, look at it, we do it every year. And I put last year's on there so you guys could kind of see what it was last year, so that you can have a little remembrance of it. But it's basically your summary. It's what our auditor looks at as well. It's what goes to OPI. It's everything that we did in the last fiscal year. You have to finish the trustee's financial summary, the TFS, before you can start on your budget. So there's kind of a two-step process. So once I finish that, then I can start with the revenue budget. So that's what those are both on there.
I did not cross-reference all 45 pages of the
I didn't
document, so I trust that.
Anything stick out? Yeah.
No, and actually I send it to our auditor just for as a preemptive review after I complete it. I just send it to him to do kind of a cursory, like, anything that he would typically find as an audit finding, and just kind of double check my TFS and see if there's anything sticking out like a sore thumb that he would look at. And interestingly enough, one of the things on our TFS is the check that was written to the interlocal, because it was written right at the end of the year, so it didn't clear the account, didn't clear. And so he was like, what is this giant outstanding warrant? Because it's like a $500,000 check that's an outstanding warrant, you know? So he did look at it and review it, and that was the only thing that he even saw that was, and obviously we have an explanation for it, so that's easy.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. FY25 budget revenue.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 budget.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. FY25 apportionment of ending cash balances.
I will make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 apportionment of ending cash balances.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
This is really just a summary sheet that's required by law. That's it. And it's numbers off the TFS and the budget. So it's nothing new. It's just numbers pulled off of those two documents.
Okay.
We're hoping it's one of those dinosaur things that eventually goes to implementation because it's really redundant.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. FY25 handbooks. Take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 handbooks.
I'll second that.
And I'm sure there's some discussion on this. You want to give a summary?
Sure, so in the emergency handbook, everything is the same, except I added a page on what a soft lockdown is, because we never had anything in there about a soft lockdown, so I did add that page. Just trying to see where that is. It's basically the same as a regular lockdown drill, but class can still go on, so kids can still keep learning, they don't have to shut the lights off and all those things, so they can still keep working. So the description is right there, and it follows a regular lockdown. So in a soft lockdown, you still keep students in the classroom, you don't allow them to go into the hall. It might happen like if you had a medical emergency, or if just somebody was really upset and you know, having a temper tantrum, or any number of things like that. So and in a regular lockdown drill, severe one, it's like where there's imminent danger to possibly everyone. So, you know, maybe there's a loose fugitive out there, or you would have somebody trying to break into the school or something like that. So that's where you would have a regular lockdown.
So let me ask on that. So was there any, like, before you said there wasn't one in there, was there any issues with parents asking about like a soft lockdown?
No.
No, there was not. Okay.
What do you mean? Issues?
Well, I was just kind of wondering because it's pretty much about the same as like a lockdown, right?
Right.
And I was
Except
looking
you
at
can
it.
still keep learning. Kids can still keep learning.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So So I put that in there just to clear it up in case, because your drill is different. You say soft lockdown, soft lockdown, soft
Okay.
lockdown. Instead of lockdown, 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 your drill is different. Your emergency is different.
Any other discussion or any discussion on the staff handbook, student parent handbook?
Also, the student parent handbook used to be 61 pages long, and I had 2 teams of teachers working on it at the end of the year, and so they went through with their team leader and crossed out a gazillion things, and then I met with the team leaders when school was actually out. I met with them, and then we condensed it down to 40 pages instead of 61 pages. So anything that is in red that you see in the student handbook is new. And when you look at the teacher review handbook, you can see all the cross-outs and changes, so you can see what we did. So yeah, it was a really great process, and I appreciate the help of Mrs. DeLong and Mr. Connors especially, because they met with me for extra time and they took into consideration everybody's comments from their meetings.
Remind me, what's our handbook say about cell phones? No.
So they have to turn them in to their classroom teacher if they have a cell phone. And they get them at the end of the day.
On your honor type of a system.
Unless I have permission to keep these off and I can check. You're laughing.
Yeah.
No, I believe me, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, we had one student who would turn in a dummy phone all the time. Yeah.
They got burner phones now?
It's really great.
And so one of the things that I witnessed last year at the after-school dances, and Kelsey took responsibility for this, is she had the kids turn in their phones, so they wouldn't have phones in the bathrooms or whatever, and if they wanted to use them for pictures, they came about their phones, used it, and then put it back. That worked really well. So one of the things that we were talking about is that, you know, for those activities, the staff management, the cell phone use will be under staff management.
Okay.
I appreciate that action, by the way.
Yeah.
Dances and after-school activities.
In the classroom, it's very successful, actually. I mean, we have to address now whether we're gonna have to
Oh, so that's in the handbook. We put that in the handbook, yeah.
Have you had any issues with that? With the watches?
Not really, not really. The kids that have had them really will. There's always gonna be something that's gonna be an exception. But
Sure.
The truth is, most kids, once they got used to just turning it in, they have pretty much an issue-free day, you know? They
Sure.
have, totally panicking over it, and if they needed to use it, like if there really was something going on, they just have to talk to us.
Right.
You know, which is what we want as adults.
Absolutely.
Use it appropriately.
Yeah.
I bet it raises their stress.
Exactly.
Somebody could check my phone for the day. and
Yeah.
leave a lot of my
I will
stuff.
take your phone.
We could just trade phones for the day.
And then the AD asked that all
She's
the
a text me, you wanna talk to her?
players turn their phones into the coaches before the games, and no phones during games at all, and then after the games, like if we travel, after the 7th, 8th grade game, then they can have the phones back.
My hometown.
And that was all the ADs through the whole valley, they would say, no more phones on the benches.
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
I think that's nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great, thank you. Okay, Mrs. Matt, anything else?
Nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay, thank you.
I do want to thank publicly the people that helped on handbooks, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
It was 4 hours.
And that was just that part.
And that was just the part that we did.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I will take a motion for the LLI curriculum, Title I.
I'll make a motion to approve the LLI curriculum Title I.
I'll second that.
So LLI is level literacy intervention, and these next 2 systems that we will order follow the previous 2 systems. So what happened last year is kids that were behind got to the end of the second system and needed the next levels because they're still not at the reading level. And so this LLI program actually goes all the way through 12th grade. So it is very successful. Ms. Evanson said, some of them jump a year and a half and they're still not up to reading level. So I recommend that we keep going with it.
And this is what we discussed last board meeting.
Yes. And now we have a section of our title funding that will pay for this.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And the fun one, 300 building decision, abandon or restore. I'll take, well, can we have discussion? Let's have a discussion first.
I mean, unless somebody wants to throw something out there, but probably should.
Yeah, well, you know,
No.
no.
Until next year.
No.
All right. Update, anybody want to?
So, my understanding is it's $700,000 just to make it so that we still can't use it.
That is correct.
That is correct. So that's preserving it basically, so that's getting it so that it won't.
And we don't have $700,000.
That is not correct. We put $454,000 into the interlocal this year, and we had money already in there, and we have foreman fund. If we pull everything together, we do. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we're-
essentially drain our,
Our reserves.
yes.
One of the things I asked McKinsey when we met with them the other day is how much of this is labor, and they said at least 40%.
Right.
So if we decided to manage this ourselves and get local people that are licensed and insured, I think there's a way to save substantially on labor. It's not going to save, $1 million, but.
Believe me, I mean, I went to school in that building. I don't want to see it go away. But at the same time, I want to be fiscally responsible for our taxpayers. And I'm just not there yet with that much money going into that building. And we're still not able to eat. I mean, we can take that much money and buy 2 double wide buildings.
At least,
Right.
yeah. So,
And actually, you can't anymore, because I priced them last year, they were 500 a piece.
Well, Rick Michaels looked at them they weren't that much.
But I think it's the transportation, so when we have to get them here, it was like $45,000 transportation to get them here for each one. Because then you have to like North Dakota or somewhere, so. And then we have all of your setup fees.
there's a range. Right? There's, like you had said, taking some managing on ourselves to kind of shop around. There's a margin in there. So we had met with McKinstry last Wednesday morning to hopefully get some numbers from them as far as what's the minimum to be able to make it habitable. And they didn't have those. So they just kind of provided basically 2 blocks. It was approximately $350,000 just for the roof. And then $350,000 for the exterior, and that's just a shell to make it weatherproof.
Why are they saying we have to replace the shell? Is that not,
Some of that sizing bracing.
A lot of it's structural, a lot of it's just not weatherproof. Yeah, because of everything they had to tear out. And then the other part of it is to bring it to code, to do anything to it, to touch it. Correct. And they kind of threw up rough estimate numbers of making it habitable, kind of bringing it down from our 1.9 million was still like 1.5. So those are the numbers that they were throwing out. And then shopping around, even if we did insource some of it ourselves, you're still looking at
4 to 5.
Yeah, 1.2, 1.5.
Because of the contract, are we able to get bids ourselves? And get any local guys that could do the roof that's licensed and insured and everything? Can we get those bids?
So the bidding would go through McKinstry since they're the lead on the project, but they can open it up to bid to any local contractors, because they told us that in the very beginning, and they reiterated that again in our meeting. They can do that. The bids that we talked about, they talked to 2 different roofing companies. Those are the ones that they presented, just purely to get something on paper and more for a timeline. And those 2 roofing companies, what they say, they came in within a very low margin of each other, so their thought process is that's where everybody's most likely gonna come in for essentially the
The
same.
only way you get anything different is if somebody says, I want to do it out of the kindness of my heart.
Right,
Mhm.
so we can absolutely
And-
open it up for local bidding. The concern there is that it's gonna push the project off further. Cause you have to open it up and then accept bids for a certain amount of time, and then do the bid selection process, and then you're pushing the fall window. And if their thought is that these 2 companies were in the same ballpark price-wise, so you're not really gonna gain anything. But we can, the answer is yes, absolutely. And same with the siding portion, same thing. But again, they looked at a couple different ones and it came back same pricing. So they weren't confident that we would get any better numbers than what we have. But yes, we absolutely could.
So if we did, let's say we found somebody that could take a look at it and they wanted to submit a bid, McKinstry would have to open up bids and then they'd submit them through McKinstry?
Yes.
And then, if I remember right, I was looking at it, that siding number was using sheeting, right?
I believe so.
Was what, Bob?
Using sheeting instead of
Yes.
stuccoing in.
Yes.
Oh, she.
Yeah, you have to.
And the reason why it was so much higher, and we went around and around this one for a long time, is because once they dug into the walls deeper, they found that all 3 layers are needing replaced. So they actually have to tear it all off.
Because
All
of
the
that,
stucco has to come off.
correct.
And the layers under it was my understanding.
Correct, because there's a double insulation barrier, so it basically holds moistures within the wall, which creates the problem that we discovered already. So that's why they have to tear all of it off, so there's not multiple moisture barriers.
Do we have any idea how much it costs to just take it out of there?
The whole building? No.
We've already got the worst stuff's already gone. We already got the asbestos out. We got the,
They did say there could be more between roofing layers.
Not asbestos.
Mold. Not asbestos.
I believe it said asbestos in the report.
yeah.
It's possible based on the error. Not sure.
The air up. So,
I'm just, like I said, I'm not there yet. $700,000 on that building. But we can't just let it sit there. It's gonna become a hazard.
Did you guys say that you looked into portables at one point?
Yeah, I've multiple times.
I know one school that brought one in for it was either 100 or 125,000 for like a 2-room building. That's just a building.
Did they mention that was
The one I
transportation?
looked at was right around that 125, 130,000 delivered, and then we had to pay for install.
So you're looking at,
Last year when I was looking, when all this started, it was about 500 for the square footage we need for a 2, so for 1 2-classroom unit is 500,000. So that was just last year, last March. Total for both? For one. For one.
one room or one building?
For one building.
And that's 2 rooms.
So, I mean, there you go, even if it's
It's difference of looking.
A fraction of that.
Different places, yeah.
400,000 to, if you you could shop around just a little bit, and it's still 20%.
Yeah, I think I ended up calling 6 companies.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we have to bring it up to code, being a public building and adding bathrooms in there, we could easily get up there pretty quick.
Yeah, that's just it, if we spend $700,000, all we're doing is making so the building doesn't collapse anymore. And so we're gonna be another $250,000 at least at any point in time. And we've already, that's not being used this year. Unless there's a way to use that as other, you know, if we, but as long as we have to put a bathroom in, there's $50,000. You know, even if it did a single stall, just a handicap them.
So by law, it has to have a bathroom?
That's what they say. Probably because
It's a separate building.
it's a separate building. If we put a breezeway, a covered breezeway, so they can get from one room to the other without having to go outside, probably this would count. But since there isn't,
And that's if we can get it sealed up and get it up to that classroom level anyway.
so we're still gonna be $1 million better.
The numbers that we are given to still have a little bit of potential wiggle room because they're not positive if, once they tear off the roof, if they're gonna find more issues inside of there that they haven't already quoted. So 700 is the low number.
And I guess that's, I love that building so much, but because, I mean, we didn't have it, that was all of our rooms. But, I just don't see where it's fiscally responsible to put that much money into the building.
No, it's not. I mean, when you look at what you're talking about dollar-wise, it makes no sense.
I think the voting of the bond also communicates that direction also.
Right.
So how bad was it last year with how we are now, as far as not having that building? I mean, honestly,
How we get by?
yeah, how was it?
So we are so struggling for space right now, which is why the portable, there's a portable listed on here to get a single wide portable. We are so cramped. If we start growing kindergarten, the 2 kindergarten classes where we have right now, they would not meet the fire safety hazards, the standards, because they wouldn't have the square footage, the usable square footage per child.
So what can you do with a single wide building, Don?
So the single wide that they have available in Hot Springs is already divided into 2 classrooms for pre-K. And so what we do not have right now is a counselor space. So we have a counselor, we have a speech person and a braille person all sharing a room that's like maybe 10 by 14. And so the speech lady is here 3.5 days a week, and she works sometimes, well, usually individually with every kid, but sometimes with 2 children at a time, and she has to have that room silent so she can work with those kids and hear everything. The counselor has nowhere to go to meet with kids right now, because the lady's using 3.5 days a week. And then when you have Braille in there, I mean, there were times when, sometimes if there was a small group of kids, the Braille teacher would teach, but she couldn't use the machine because you can't hear. So what we would do, my proposal, so first of all, this, it's a portable, it's 14 by 56, it's a Hot Springs, they were asking $45,000 for it. My proposal would be to use the counselor space, so you have counselor room up there, also to use it for speech, also to use it for gifted and talented, which we have to have a program, so it's the law, we have that program, and to use it for occupational therapy and school site. So right now we don't have spaces for those going on.
Do you guys have the numbers of the easily accessible of what the asbestos abatement was for the original interior and walls?
I'm sorry.
So
The removal of the old asbestos and mold. Do you have the original?
It was about
Cost.
35,000.
35,000?
Yeah, it was not a lot.
Okay, so 35,000 for, if that roof has some in it, approximately around there, and then demoing the rest of the building. So, I mean,
And so-
somebody else throw out a number, but it can't be more than 100,000, so you're 150,000.
And
Removing
do you
that
think we can
completely.
get that thing a little bit cheaper since they've had it
Oh, I would
for
certainly try.
3
The other
months?
thing is, so we have two
Just that.
conversations going on right now, so we have your conversation and we have this conversation.
Yeah.
So Rick, are you steering us back to the portable or?
No, I'm still just talking about the existing building,
Okay.
because I think that's what we need to decide first, whether keeping $750,000 shell or
Well, I'll make it easy.
150.
I moved to destroy the old building.
Well, you got the fire department that could probably help out too, though.
What's that?
You got the fire department that would do training on it.
I don't think I'm ready. Too
Yeah, I don't
much,
think
too
I'm
much
ready.
risk. That we can call
Too close.
Darius or somebody and have them come in and just haul it away. If there's no, said no. That's the one advantage now we've got to, as far as we know, that the asbestos out. We would have had to do that.
Right.
No matter what we decided to do.
Yeah.
So provided there's no other asbestos, I think there's a number of contractors that would come in and take care of it.
What size is that building, do you remember?
4,000 square feet.
So you think you can demo a building for 100 grand?
There's a motion on the table, just so you guys know.
The motion is choosing between the two.
Probably a motion to destroy.
I think,
But my motion is to just forego fixing the building and get rid of it. We can't leave it there.
abandon it.
We can't just abandon it and leave it there. It'll become a safety risk. We'll have kids trying to break in.
Is there any kind of money that we can get for the demo, or no?
I would say probably not.
I don't know that there's anything worth it.
Does the demo still have to go through the kid stream, or can we figure that out?
I don't think so, because
No.
they were to save the building.
I'd say
I would say we could call, contract Jimmy Cameron, lives in the district. See if
So Lacey, Dawn, if, as a community, we wanted to demo it, can we, or no?
we're gonna find enough guts to haul it off.
I don't know.
So I would say,
Yeah,
insurance
let's
would have it, I would say probably no.
As a community, if they're licensed and insured though?
If they were licensed and insured, you want me?
I think we have a lot of people that are licensed and insured
Go
though.
ahead.
Just text her dad to see if he could demo, and she's waiting for a text.
So what we would have to do is we would have to have a contract with whoever's we were donating this to Chase, we'd have to give them a bill, and it's like.
Of course.
Right, it would be
Yeah,
there's gonna be a certain amount of stuff that we're gonna have, I mean, even if somebody gives us all their labor, I don't think that'll all fit in the hole, so we'll have to haul some of it off. I don't think you can knock it all into the hole and then cover it up. I don't think there's enough room. Yes, ma'am.
Currently, in the basement of that building, it's got a lot of cleaning supplies, right? A lot of everything. Where would it all at?
We have about 15 storage containers that are full of a bunch of stuff. I'm sure we could empty out.
In building, 300 buildings?
No, all these. We've been,
Yeah, but they have to be heated.
but there's stuff that like doesn't need to be heated that we can put out here. That
but
I'm
there's
sure
stuff that needs
space.
to be heated.
Yeah.
I mean, what needs to be
I mean,
heated?
like that stuff
Chemicals.
up there. could go-
Well, we're gonna have to, that's gonna have to be solved anyway.
That'll go out, yeah.
Before winter.
Well, I'm just saying we gotta keep it
Because
clean.
we're not gonna keep heating it.
So we can use it.
Even if we were to say that we're not gonna heat
Yeah.
it.
Jay, Kelsey threw out a good point. She said that we could take all of that and put it in a storage container and utilize the upper storage for things that need to stay warm.
wing limit there? No. No, so we can put whatever we want. I
I thought we had this issue a couple of years ago.
It
They had to brace it up.
They had braces.
Yeah, it's all been stuff. Yeah, because we built that thing for,
Well, currently, there's a lot of.
There are-
You said there's a-
there's all paper boxes up there right now, so I don't see what, you're not gonna get much better than all that stuff.
I want to second Bob's motion.
Okay.
Thank you. Cody could see you switching.
Normally I would too, but this is a different kind of subject.
It's fine. I said I need to get my
This is,
picture of there first.
I think that if people understood, I'm really surprised there's not more people here.
Yeah.
I really am. And if we don't have it, it's very important, and then before the next meeting, there will be people here. I would think.
But we could do something
Don't
like
have
they did for the old gym at Flathead. They preserved like
Yeah.
part of it. They framed the center court. They put it in the gym. So
Sure.
we can take
Well, I
that
mean,
and,
the foundation will
you
still
know, it's
be there also.
sad, but
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing I was thinking is.
There you go.
Money we're putting into that building. We
Look
could
at
just knock
that.
off
Look
the
at
foundation,
you.
build another building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we should put a basketball court there.
The only problem with that is the way it's built. It's a traditional building.
Correct. Yeah, the footings aren't.
The old, it's the original old school, and I actually have a picture of that original old school, it just looks just like the old Mormon school. And then the stucco building that was added on later. The only basement is under the main part, the stucco part. The original building did not have a basement. It was two rooms. It was, in fact, the rooms are the only room now would have been the southwest wall or southeast wall building room. That was the original. If you go downstairs and you've been down there, Jake, and the part where the little hole is, and then it's just, that's all original.
So, McKinstry did give us general, current, commercial, or maybe government contract cost of per square footage building, which is $500 per square foot, which is at $2 million for a 4,000 square foot building, new. Which,
Made it really dumb that we were asking for 1.9 to fix the whole building.
well, restoration it is cheaper than new right now. So that's one of those arguments for the reasons why going down that road. Now, that's still not feasible for us either.
If we vote to abandon the building, where's that West Woodland Street? Done?
I will have to reach out to them and ask, but I would assume that that would end our project with them at this point. But obviously, I would want to reach out because we have a contract with them, so I would need to reach out and find out. And we would have to obviously pay them for the services rendered for what we have to pay them for what we just had in our last meeting, which was pretty intensive set of drawings, obviously attached to the agenda. So I would assume that we're going to be getting a decent sized bill.
Right.
For
We
those.
can't be tied to them in perpetuity.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, but I would say yes, Cody, I can't imagine why we wouldn't. And I doubt we would have any form of penalty or anything for getting out of the contract, because very unforeseen circumstances, obviously, we went into the contract hoping that a bond would pass.
Well, to Bob's point, we hired them to restore the building.
Absolutely, we're no longer doing
We're
that.
not doing it.
Right. So, I mean, as soon as the board approves the motion, or if the board approves the motion on the table, then I would reach out to them first thing tomorrow morning and find out where we go from here.
Well, and my only reservation is waiting on this vote to make sure that there isn't any clause or anything that cost us a ton of money.
I didn't
We
read
can go-
anything in the contract about that.
I think we can,
If we find
if
discovery.
we
on it,
found discovery on that, we can go in and amend.
Pivot.
Okay, cool.
We can pivot. I mean, we're never tied to a decision until we actually spend our money into it.
This just helps us.
Make it.
We need to move on.
Take steps in
from what
That
we've
makes
been
sense.
doing.
Good question.
We can't keep throwing good money to bad and
Totally agree.
And nothing that you guys have done, just so that, you know, this is out there, nothing that you guys have done has been bad. You made all the decisions, moving down a certain path with all of the best intentions of doing the right thing for the building. We hired somebody so that Mrs. Mack could do her job. We did everything that we could to try to pass that bond. Paid them for all the things that they've been doing for us to try to help us preserve the building the way that we wanted to. And now you guys are left with a really hard decision at the end of the road of the bond not passing. And that's where we are. And there's nothing bad that's come. It's just where we are now. So there's just, to make the next decision in a series of decisions as board members.
Sure, yeah, that's good. Okay, you got the motion?
I'm gonna call it.
Okay. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, for possible action, purchase portable building from Hot Springs School.
Okay, so the portable, the interesting thing is, last year we didn't have a counselor for most of the year. And so in our ESSER money, we have that salary money that would have gone towards that counselor, plus some expenses like service expenses, and part of that money basically would cover the cost of the portable. So I called OPI and they said, yes, you can go ahead and redesignate that. You can create an amendment and then redesignate that, say your bond didn't fail. Because of that, we don't have counselor space, and because we would be using the building for the counselor, we were told they could use that money, that extra money for that. What we do not have is, we don't know how much it would cost to get a water line connected and sewer. So that's what we don't have. But we'd have to have everything as far as the purchase and all that stuff, we'd have to have it finished by the end of September, because that's the deadline.
We have to
Purchase
purchase
or
it.
The purchase of the portable would have to be done by the
Okay.
end of September.
But the building doesn't have to be moved
So,
by a certain time?
so if we want to use that money that's reserved for that, yes, it would have to be moved. So I did talk to a mover, and this was back in July, and he said, well, the earliest I could do it would be August 19th, and I sent him video of where it would go, so I was looking outside here next to the gym, and he said it's totally doable to get that right over here, so he gave us a price of like $4,800, I think it was, to move the portable over here. But then, like I said, we'd have to get it hooked up, so the portable does have 2 toilets.
Are they handicap accessible?
So I believe the whole portable is a big handicap ramp that goes with it.
I just didn't want to have.
Yeah, and it's a 2016 model portable, so that would be our newest building, literally our newest building here, which would be unbelievable. But I've been talking to our water lady and trying to get in contact with somebody, in contact with the gentleman who would come out and have a look. So the next step would be we have to have a plan drawn, where we're going to put it, like a site plan that would have to be drawn. And as far as water, because it's a new building, they would have to most likely put in a new water line. We couldn't tap off of this water line.
From the main?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
so-
can't you?
Pardon?
Why can't you tap in with the existing water line?
Because they have some kind of new laws or something. It's just-
Really?
Yeah, it's just that we
Who
couldn't-
said that?
So, Jerry Miller through Tina's last name.
I think
If
what
they do our water testing, I wouldn't go by what they say.
So.
Because McKinstry said we could. If they did that building, everything that's in the ground, we can just.
Well, because the building's already there.
But if it's being demolished.
But if it's being
Okay,
moved,
so
put the portable in.
hypothetically,
Maybe, well, that wasn't on the table before, right? We weren't talking about demoing the building when we were talking about putting in a portable.
okay, so
And I don't think we're gonna
Gotcha.
have to put the
That makes
portable
sense.
why couldn't we?
timeline wise. I don't think.
If that's demoed,
That could be demoed pretty quick.
on one spot is only a foundation, the other spot, you don't have to have a foundation for a
Get it
portable.
solid enough or not, because I know when they demo like Fort Morgan.
Yeah.
We put a brand new water line in last year to there.
There's so much money that's.
So we have water, power, septic,
That's smart.
huh?
That's smart. Yeah.
Well, we
that
could
would be a
even
smart
put it in
idea.
right next to the building.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if that's gone, you have room right up here.
Right,
All your
right, let's
utilities,
go, get
everything's
there.
out here.
So in that situation, what we would most likely have to do is put in a concrete pad.
Right.
To support it, right? So it's demolished, everything is tamped down, boop, 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 put concrete
Yeah,
over top of it, and then.
Gravel and concrete in, right?
You don't need a full concrete pad for temporary building.
No, you wouldn't need a full concrete pad,
But the nice thing is.
as long as you were sure you weren't gonna have any settling after.
But we have enough.
I think the
stuff to
first
fill.
thing would be to get either Russ or Jimmy down here to look at it and say, this is what we have to do to get the building going.
So site-wise for the portable, I mean, we would have choices. So this site out here would work. If we put it alongside this building, it would work. Because I asked him, we were like, is this a place that you certainly could put that? And he said, yes, without a problem.
If we could hook up, this would be my preference. And this is my idea. If they will allow us to hook up without having to rerun line out here, we'd be better off to put that little portable there and then start looking at possibilities of larger portables right here.
Well, how far is from water and electricity over here? We gotta do a sewer line, right? So there's 20 grand.
Sewer's right there too, it's right outside of St. Augustine.
Yeah, but from there to there,
It's gonna have to be passed after the sanitation.
They're gonna make you pump it anyway. You're gonna have to pump it from the building
in the summer.
because it's more than a 20-foot run.
So the
Right.
gentleman I've been trying to get in touch with, his name is Greg Sandberg, he works with DEQ, and I've been waiting to hear back from him. to
Good
get
luck.
This information about the water and the sewer.
yeah, I'd find out.
That's
We-
gonna be probably the biggest obstacle.
And if we don't get those done right away, we can live with that as long as we can get the building bought.
That's a good point.
Bought, moved,
Yes.
and
Bought
heated.
and moved.
If you get
And-
it,
and
It
heated
has
by
to be done
the-
every.
that's a good point, because if you dropped it right outside of this building, you could technically use the bathrooms in this building, because it's a portable, it's not a,
Right.
we could use these bathrooms until we get that figured out.
In speech and
If it, yeah, it's just offices.
It's not classroom,
It's not.
so, yeah.
You don't have 20 kids sitting in there.
That's probably a better idea too than putting it over there, because then like you said, we should leave that spot for a bigger.
Well, if we're gonna end up having to stay here, my hope was always that I could get, Bibblers to
they're being
give
very
us a
giving
little
right
piece of
now.
land. Hmm?
They're being very giving right now.
I know. Whether they'll give to us, I don't know.
You have to talk to them. Bob, you can't say no until you talk to them.
Just come take some kisses.
So we are in this situation right now where we've just gotten a counselor hired and she is nowhere to counsel these kids.
Right.
That's the situation.
I don't-
we're in.
If we can get that for, if you can,
If I can talk down to $30,000.
if we can stay under 50 for the whole thing.
But we have no way to know what that's gonna exactly.
What were they asking again?
They were asking 45. And I was thinking I would ask them if they would accept 30,000. I could try for 25.
Well, I think,
I think
I just
30
offer them
is fair.
35 grand,
yeah, offer 35.
35, and see what they do.
Well,
Yep.
we
Yep.
are currently the only people interested in the portable, so.
And if they just want it gone.
They
Mine
wanted
says,
it.
Lower?
So they said it's been empty for 3 years, but it's been heated the entire time that they got rid of their pre-K program. So it's been heated and cooled the whole time.
So we need to get rid of them.
Go low, they'll put them out.
They will pay, they will pay.
That's right, you're right.
Do we have to get
We need to give her a number to
Correct.
negotiate with. She can't go in and try to get it cheaper, but we have to give her
Give me a maximum.
A budget, yeah.
otherwise she can't make a decision.
The only-
to hire her on.
So, my thought on that is, this is for negotiations, and anyone can watch this, so if we say, hey, you can go up to 40,000, they know that we'll go up to 40,000.
so the result is, yes, they could watch it, but.
They won't.
No, they probably won't, but if we,
Yes.
if she negotiated and we called a special board meeting to approve whatever the budget is, could we do that? So if she went in and she said, hey, I just got it to do 25,000, even though we haven't chosen a number, could we do a special board meeting and whoever can show up and vote on 25,000?
I think either way, if we give her a number and it comes and the negotiations come to go surpass
have a
that
special
number,
board meeting.
we'll have to come back anyways. So
I think
both
you're
would
right.
work.
I would lean toward the board giving a lower number, and then if they don't accept it, then having a short special meeting, that would be my,
So
for the same reason.
what would be a good number to start?
25.
25.
after
Get
this.
it for that.
Okay, so I need a motion.
Okay, take a motion. Purchase the building
Yeah, go
for,
ahead, Cody.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to purchase the portable building from Hot Springs for $25,000.
Because we still have all those expenses afterwards, so, yes.
I have a first and a second. No further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Good job making progress.
Thank you, you guys.
Good job, board.
It's such a good portable too, you will not be sorry. And the nice thing is it's something, it's in such good shape if we decide to keep it permanently, we can keep it because it can always be used.
They're hard decisions, but they have to be made.
My mom's gonna kill me.
Did you see the entire?
She's your, you're her boy, she can't get it. That's why you're here. That's why you're sitting, that's why you're sitting.
I have video, I can show you. I
I
thought I shared it with you.
There's a correspondence right over here.
Yeah. That letter from the county that says they don't want to do our.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
All right, yeah, the public is spoken. Next, we're under correspondence. Letter from Flathead County Election Office.
They do this every year.
They do this every year. But every year, we're gonna keep asking, every year. And so are all the other clerks in the valley. And maybe eventually they're gonna get a new person and new commissioners and they'll say yes.
All right, and any special discussion? No special discussion? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.